Good morning, my Real News Media TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning for November 2, 2023, teen mother and her 8-month-old daughter missing. 15-year-old Tashika Hartley and her 8-month-old daughter Kimoya Grant of Sebright Avenue, Kingston 11, have been missing since Tuesday. Tashika is of brown complexion, slim build, and about 5 feet 8 inches tall. The Hunts Bay police say Tashika and Kimoya were last seen at home about 8:15 p.m. Tashika was wearing a white blouse and red shorts, while Kimoya's mode of dress is unknown. Anyone knowing the whereabouts of Tashika Hartley and Kimoya Grant is being asked to contact the Hunts Bay police at 876-923-7111, the 119 police emergency number, or the nearest police station. Security guard killed while on duty at Clarendon housing scheme. A security guard at a housing scheme in Clarendon was shot dead at the compound Wednesday afternoon. The deceased has been identified as Dwayne Anderson from Old Harbor, St. Catherine. Preliminary reports are that around 4 p.m., Anderson was on duty at the Hummingbird housing scheme in Birds Hill in the parish when he was approached by several men. Police said the men pulled handguns and rifles and opened fire on the security guard. He was hit multiple times. The men then reportedly fled the housing scheme. No motive has been established for the attack, the police said. Beachy Stout's wife was trying to run away from him, mother tells a court. The mother of Tonya MacDonald, the slain second wife of Everton Beachy Stout MacDonald, told the court Wednesday that her daughter packed a suitcase on numerous occasions and fled her marital home in Portland and sought refuge at her family home in St. Mary. Tonya's mother was the third witness to take the stand in the murder trial of her daughter's husband, Beachy Stout, and his co-accused Oscar Barnes in Kingston. The witness in her testimony before the Home Circuit Court said that Beachy Stout complained very often about Tonya allegedly having intimate relationships outside of her marriage. Anybody who gets married into our family, we consider them family. I used to talk to Mr. McDonald on the phone. Sometimes when he was coming from Kingston, they would stop by my shop. I would prepare dinner for them. I talk about a lot of stuff with Beachy. Sometimes he would complain to me about the relationship with my daughter. Sometimes I would be up talking to him for up to 2 hours on the phone. When they were having a fuss, he would call and complain. But when they are good, I would hardly hear from him. After she got married, she came back home very regularly. Most times when she came back home, she would come up with her suitcase packed. She was running away from her husband. Most times she would just be there for a day because by the day ends, her husband would be there to encourage her to come back. She told the 7-member jury and the trial judge, Justice Chester Stamp, the couple was married for 8 years up until Tonya's slaying. Beachy Stout and Oscar Barnes are on trial for the July 20, 2020 murder of Tonya, whose partially burnt body was found on the Sherwood Forest Main Road in Portland with multiple stab wounds. Beachy Stout is accused of ordering the murder of Tonya, while Barnes, who was allegedly hired by another man, Denverlin Minot, who is accused of committing the actual murder. Tonya's mother told the court on Wednesday that her daughter always went back home to Beachy Stout after he begged and pleaded for her to do so. Most times she was there when he was complaining about her cheating, and she said he was always accusing her of cheating. After we spoke, he would plead with her to come back home. That was like every single year during the marriage. She came back home all the time. The longest she had spent when she came back was 3 days. In 2020, she came back home 2 times. The last time she came back home was in June 2020, and that was when she spent the 3 days. He called her on the phone and said he was coming down. He came down about 12 a.m. He had someone drop him there in a car. I didn't speak to him that night because I was so upset. In the morning, she made him a cup of tea and then he left, Tonya's mother said, explaining that after he left her house on that occasion, that was the last time she was seeing him up until Wednesday when she laid eyes on him in court. Attorney at law Ryan John Paul Hamilton, who cross-examined the witness on behalf of Beachy Stout, probed whether Tonya had been entertaining a man by the name of Dollar Coin, who Tonya had allegedly said was becoming jealous. I know someone by the name Dollar Coin. I know he used to drive her to Kingston at least 2 times per week. She did not tell me that he sometimes searched her phone. She said in response to a follow-up question from Hamilton about a Dollar Coin searching Tonya's phone. The mother said that she had no clue of what Dollar Coin's relationship with her daughter entailed. Tonia's mother said that she recalled giving a statement to the police on July 26, 2020, in which she said that Tonia had told her that Dollar Coin was catching feelings for her and wanted to get intimate, and that Tonia wanted to drop his company. The mother, after her testimony on Wednesday, was released as a witness, as there were no further questions to put to her by either prosecutors or defense lawyers. The trial continues today when 2 more witnesses are expected to take the stand. 2 die in Trelawney crash. An American visitor was one of 2 people killed in a motor vehicle crash in Trelawney on Tuesday. 63-year-old Clyde Douglas of North Carolina and an unidentified man died in a motor vehicle collision along the Rio Bueno Main Road in Trelawney. It is reported that about 5 p.m., Mr. Douglas and the unidentified man were traveling in a Nissan Note motorcar towards Duncan's when the driver attempted to overtake a line of traffic. The Nissan then collided with a white international truck that was heading in the opposite direction. The driver of the truck left the scene unhurt. The American and the unidentified man were rushed to the hospital where they were pronounced dead. SMO denies a sick-out at the Port Maria Hospital. Senior medical officer at the Port Maria Hospital, Dr. Sidney Powell, has refuted reports that Wednesday's long wait for services at the medical facility was due to a sick-out by doctors. The issue, he told the news, was a shortage of staff. We have been experiencing a shortfall in staff, which we are rectifying at the moment, he said. He explained that the shortage had resulted from some doctors going on study leave while others have resigned. According to Dr. Powell, primary care doctors were called upon on Wednesday to help minimize the long wait by patients who utilize the hospital's outpatient department and health center. He said despite delays, there was no impact on their ability to provide primary care to the public. We have always implemented the 5-tier triage system where priority cases such as the elderly, babies, accident victims are placed first. There is no ticketing system for patients to use, he explained. The SMO apologized to those affected by the delays and has given an assurance that there will be full resumption of services on Thursday, November 2. UK's blast the government for treatment of public dental surgeons. The Union of Clerical, Administrative and Supervisory Employees, which represents government-paid dental surgeons, has blasted the Ministry of Finance over its treatment of the dental surgeons. The dental surgeons who took industrial action Monday to protest the delay in settling their wage package under the compensation review continued their protest Wednesday by gathering at the head office of the Finance Ministry's Transformation Implementation Unit in Kingston. UK's President Vincent Morrison told the news that the Ministries of Finance and Health have refused to meet with the union to discuss the concerns of the dental surgeons.
We have not heard from the Ministry of Finance. We have not heard from their employers, the Ministry of Health, or the regional health authorities. One of the reasons why the doctors went out had to do with the lack of communication that has transpired between the Ministry of Finance over this issue, because we have been writing, calling, and trying to get meetings to talk to them, but that has not been coming. We want to highlight the fact that, one, the retention and the attraction of the dental surgeon is very important to these discussions. But there are other issues of governance that they are complaining about. The issue of equipment, for example, the doctors were paid traveling allowance. The Ministry of Finance wanted to take away this allowance, but this is not practical, because when a dentist moves from base to the schools, to the old age home, to wherever, they have to move the equipment. And, you know, they travel, these are traveling officers.
No significant earthquake-related damage to NWC systems. The National Water Commission is reporting that there has been no significant damage to its systems resulting from Monday's 5.6 magnitude earthquake. Acting Communications and Public Affairs Manager at the NWC, Charles Buchanan, said that the agency has more than 1,000 structures and facilities located across the island, some in remote locations, which could have been affected by the shaking. Speaking at a meeting of the National Disaster Risk Management Council on Tuesday, Mr. Buchanan said checks conducted so far on major pipelines have revealed no structural damage. He said assessments to date show that there is no significant or noticeable impact, particularly on the Mona Reservoir, nor any noticeable impact on the 19 miles of pipeline coming from the Yalas and the Negro rivers in St. Thomas. Mr. Buchanan said the assessments are continuing. He, however, acknowledged that the NWC expects there will be some minimal effect from issues relating to pipeline breaks, which is natural after an earthquake. The anticipated leaks are likely to be manifested in the days to come, since with underground pipelines, it will take a little while for any breaks to be detected.